even stride length and good foot timing, with the front paws lifting just ahead of the oncoming rear. Overreaching and crabbing also come from a body that is too short, or the fault may be due to handling, habit, or injury. Here is another example. Perhaps not limbered up after leaving the car, this subject shows poor foot timing. The shoulders look tight. And she occasionally paces. Exercise and conditioning would give a firmer, more athletic appearance and minimize roll. Watch this dog's shoulders. The action is smooth, and all energy is directed forward through a well-muscled working back. Notice, too, the loose lead and good head carriage. The steep upper arm, or humerus, sets the elbow too far forward and destroys balance in the front assembly. The diagram illustrates how steep or short upper arms can restrict reach and interfere with rhythm and foot timing. Such a gait is called padding. The front paw extends too far above the ground and flips before landing. Movement should be coordinated so that the front paw lands just as the rear leg on the same side is pushing off. Despite this gait fault, this dog has a very pleasant appearance. Here is a front view of padding. Another example. At the same time, the rear legs cross badly. Movement should be low and smooth with no wasted motion. Top lines tell much about structure. Though this Golden is a bit proud of his tail, his coordination and firm working back illustrate qualities needed in a sound breeding program. Next, we see the same dog 5 years later, whose easy ground-covering gait shows how good conformation as a youngster pays off in advancing years. The dip in this dog's back is accentuated by roaching over the loin and presents an incorrect outline. A hollow back lacks strength. Energy is wasted as it whips up and down and rolls. Watch the twisting, jarring effect along the dog's body that ends in a pounding front. The rear action is exaggerated as the hocks overextend with backstroke too high off the ground. This is clearly illustrated in the left diagram. Watch this dog again. This is not a working back. In the field, he would tire easily and expend too much effort carrying heavy game. Here is another example of hock action that is too high. The trot should be low, smooth, and effortless, with the back firm but not rigid. The roach back is stiff, creating roll across the loins and restricting freedom of movement. The croup of this dog is steep, and the tail is carried in an unhappy attitude. A dog may have a pleasing front, like this, but the overall outline can be marred by a tail that springs abruptly from too short a croup. Here is a correct outline, and the happy attitude that gives us all a lift. Physical coordination and good condition contribute to jumping ability. This dog does not break his stride as he takes off over the hurdle. The same qualities apply to a strong water entry and ease in swimming. Steep shoulders and overangulated upper arms make this dog set over himself in front. His neck appears short and the overall picture is not balanced. An abrupt juncture at the base of the neck and wrinkles over the withers also tell of steep shoulders, and the long, weak neck illustrates what is called a U-neck. A rugged constitution and super front are needed for carrying and holding a duck or Canada goose. Excessive rolling reduces working efficiency and is tiring. First seen trotting, the diagonal gait, this golden prefers to pace, where the legs on the same side swing together. For her, pacing is easier because the feet do not interfere. The rear limbs swing outward, adding to the severe roll. As she goes away, she is still pacing. But in a moment changes again to a very awkward trot, emphasizing her structural problems. There are different reasons for pacing. Stifle trouble, perhaps, hip dysplasia, spinal injury, proportion, or fatigue. Notice here the slight roaching over the loins and lack of rear drive. In contrast to the previous dog, this golden shows a tendency to spread hocks, where the hocks twist out. When she trots, her legs cross awkwardly. It is just more comfortable for her to pace. Viewed from the front or rear, a golden retriever should stand with the limbs straight from shoulders or hips to pads. When moving, there is a natural tendency for the legs to swing inward toward a midline of travel, called the tendency to single track. This keeps the weight over a central support and lessens side-to-side roll. The limbs should move straight forward with minimum twisting of the joints, each leg following in line with the other leg on the same side, called moving on the same plane. Too broad a chest can mitigate against free movement, and the dog may toe in, or pin toe, like this. See how the left leg turns, and how the paw twists as it lands. The carpal joints are subjected to severe strain, which is here increased by excessive weight. Loose shoulders also contribute to pin toeing. Opposite to the fault of toeing in is the east-west front, where the feet turn out. Weak pasterns that slant too much, like this, place great strain on tendons and ligaments. The joints lack spring, and movement is labored. Correct slope of pastern is seen on the right. Strong fronts are as important as strong hindquarters, and good pasterns help on quick turns. Another deviation from normal gaiting is paddling, which creates too wide a footfall and causes the shoulders to rock. Paddling as well as padding usually comes from steeply set upper arms that hamper freedom in the elbows. This defective front is evident even as the subject trots away. Twisting, crossing hocks add to the problem. The fault of moving close breaks the line of support through stifles and hocks, causing brushing and interference. Thrust is weakened because the joints are out of line. Pictured here are correct hindquarters. The legs are straight, and they remain straight as the joints flex. The natural tendency to single track should not be confused with the fault of moving close. The cow hock dog stands with the hocks turned in and the feet turned out, and they may brush or twist when trotting. Hocks are thrusting joints that should have strong drive with good backstroke of the lower legs, as illustrated here. By contrast, this Golden's hock action is stiff. The fault is called sickle hocks, an expression derived from the farm tool, the sickle, that has a rigid joint between the handle and the blade. Her steep croup, combined with unusually long tibia bones, contributes to sickle hocked action, and makes this dog stand with the hocks turned in, and causes problems when gaiting. Look again at the strong, energy-saving movement of this Golden. And now we have the spraddle. Here, too, such faulty, rocking movement may result from trouble in the stifle joints, hips, or spinal column. Loose outward swinging of the limbs often combines with crossing and twisting in a rear paddling action. In contrast to good, straight, forward thrust seen here or here. Occasionally, hock joints are so straight that they actually knuckle forward under pressure, called hyperextension. Like many abnormalities, this deformity affects performance and tends to be inherited. We must learn to recognize the symptoms associated with unsound traits that affect usefulness and endurance. This includes temperament. Dogs with serious genetic problems should not be used for breeding. Can you tell on which leg this young dog is limping? He is afflicted with osteochondritis of the right shoulder. The hips are also dysplastic. He was treated surgically and is here shown a year later, moving with comparative comfort. He was wisely neutered, never to be bred. Golden retrievers that are sound in body, physically strong, and mentally stable will give years of pleasure to their owners, whatever activities they may share. The typical Golden freely gives and accepts affection. Goldens have tremendous zest for life. They have natural instincts that are beneficial to man. And they show devotion and responsibility for those who depend